The war of words between Donald Trump and Iran has just turned sharply personal and deeply volatile. In a dramatic escalation over the Strait of Hormuz, which is the critical global energy artery, Donald Trump has issued a blunt ultimatum to Tehran. He said, reopen the strait or face direct strikes on key infrastructure, including power plants and bridges. But what has triggered global attention is not just the threat, but the language. In a post on Truth Social, Donald Trump abuses expletive-laden rhetoric, warning Iran. He used the F word and also the B word. Now, Iran has hit back. In a sharp and sarcastic response, the Iranian establishment has turned Trump's own words against him. Mocking his earlier threat to push Iran back to the Stone Age, Tehran has claimed that the United States has already reached that point. Now, this exchange comes at a crucial moment in the ongoing conflict. There are tensions that are spiking. Strategic waterways are under threat and global energy markets are on the edge. Listen in to the response that's coming in from Iran.
ترامپ یک شخصیت متزلزل متوهم با مجموعه تناقضات هست. جامعه ایران معمولا به حرفهای ترامپ اعتنایی نمی کند چون باور دارد که ایشان فاقد تعادل شخصیتی و رفتاری و کلامی است و هر لحظه با یک موضوع متناقضی مواجه میشه. به نظر میسه که ترامپ به یک پدیده‌ای تبدیل شده است که نه ایرانی‌ها، امریکایی‌ها هم قدرت تحلیلش این شخصیت رو ندارند و راجع به بحث تنگه برای جهانیان باز هست ولی برای دشمنان ایران بسته.
My colleague Rishabh is with us. Rishabh, we've been speaking about the war rhetoric and the language that has triggered global attention. Donald Trump went on an abusive tirade against Iran, but Iran is not ready to blink. Iran is hitting back. There are representatives in Iran who are calling Donald Trump reckless, who are calling him delusional, and who are also saying that this war will lead Americans to hell.
Well, see, one thing is very clear. Iran is not ready to blink, Sagarika, and that is something which is very clear. We are talking on the 38th day of this war, and every day, both of us, when we report on this issue, we do say that this is 37th day, 38th day. Why is the days important? Every expert, everyone who was watching this war when it began, thought that this will be a week-long, 10 days at max, 14 to 15 days war. 38th day, and Iran is still hitting at US bases, hitting at US companies, hitting at US warships, hitting at Israel. And they are not ready to back down. Rather, they are more emboldened and they are putting out their own conditions if this war has to end. A war that began with US and Israel invasion of Iran, a war that began with killing of the supreme leader and the senior leadership of IRGC and the regime, has now reached a point where Iran says that we will stop this war once these six conditions are met. What are these six conditions? The Strait of Hormuz remains under the sovereign control of Iran. Iran gets compensation for all the losses it has incurred in last 38 days now.
Right.
Iran continues with the ballistic missile program.
So, Rishabh, Iran is constantly asserting its control over the Strait of Hormuz. We are also getting information about what mediators are currently talking about. There is a plan that is in the works, and it's only in its proposal stage. The 45-day ceasefire plan, and this is nothing but a last-ditch attempt. We will tell our viewers about that proposal. But before that, viewers, we are now going to decode the language of this war, especially when it comes to the language of escalation by Donald Trump. Let's explain that graphically. On the 3rd of March, Donald Trump said US will escort vessels through the Hormuz. So that was a way that US was trying to indicate that, they have managed to ensure some kind of leverage in Hormuz, but what the situation currently is like. Let's go to the 15th of March. Allies must join efforts. So then came the appeal. After saying we are winning the war, we will control the Hormuz, came the appeal to the Allies, which the Allies rejected. Europe has been pushing back. After that, on the 17th of March, came another comment by Donald Trump where he said, US doesn't need the Strait of Hormuz. On the 21st of March, open Hormuz in 48 hours or else. Then came the warnings. Now, let's tell you about the warning that came on the 23rd of March. He said, we're going to postpone the strikes for 5 days. We are talking to each other. Then the 26th, the deadline has been extended to the 6th of April. On the 4th of April, time is running out. Hell will reign over Iran. So came the first threat. Yesterday, it was that social media post of Donald Trump that the world is now talking about. There were profanities where he spoke about open the dash straight, you dash. This was the kind of language that he used. And then while speaking to the American media, Donald Trump has also been saying that if a deal is not reached, not just power plants and bridges, we will blow up Iran. How are representatives of Iran responding to what Donald Trump is saying? Listen into another reaction.
Language which every human being uses, this the manifestation of his personality and his humanity and his morality. And even a lot of American senators denied using that languages. Actually, all countries can play a very big role to stop this war, because now the war affected to all life of a lot of life of the people. The price of oil is increased, and even the price of shipping is increased. So I think it is very necessary and important and set exactly the time in which the world leaders come together and they ask President Trump to stop this war.
We are shifting our focus on breaking news that's coming in. An Iranian missile has struck a residential building in Israel's Haifa. This marks another escalation in the ongoing conflict. At least 2 people have been killed. We are getting the pictures that are coming in from the strike. 4 others are reportedly injured. And as per latest reports, 2 more are still missing and are trapped under the rubble. Now, Haifa is a major port city in Israel. It is a strategic hub and has been directly hit once again. There are raising concerns over the expanding target zones. Once again, let's show you the pictures that have come in. This is Haifa, and what has been reported is a latest missile strike in a strategic hub. Now, this is a residential area. Haifa is the port city of Israel, and this is not the first time that Haifa has been targeted. What we are also getting to know by some reports is that Iran is using cluster missiles to target Israeli cities. Now, once again, take a look at these pictures that are coming in. These are pictures coming in from Haifa. This is a residential area because you're seeing an array of buildings over here where there are emergency vehicles that have come in response to the latest missile strike. Reports suggest cluster missiles have been used. Take a look at this building. We will also, zooming in to show you the impact of the missile strike. There is thick smoke and you can see fire. This was the impact of the missile strike. Emergency vehicles in the area. This is a residential area that has been targeted in the latest round of strikes, overnight strikes. Once again, pictures coming in from Haifa in Israel. My colleagues will be joining us as we talk about the latest strikes overnight. But once again, viewers, we're telling you about the latest in the escalation between Iran, Israel and America. And take a look at your screens. Over the last 24 hours itself, Kuwait, an oil refinery was struck. There was bombing that took place in Tehran. We are also talking about drone attacks that have taken place in Kuwait. In the UAE, explosions have been heard. In Bahrain, an oil refinery has been hit. And all these pictures are on your screens. And we are breaking information about what has happened in Haifa, where a residential attack. So these are strikes that are coming at a time when both sides are talking about reaching a deal. Now, the media in Iran is also reporting about massive explosions. Once again, we'll show you some pictures coming in from Tehran. Massive explosions in the west of Tehran near the Mehrabad airport. So we are showing you the pictures again. Let's play out those pictures. Thick plumes of black smoke filling the air in Tehran. So viewers, we showed you pictures from Haifa. Now let's take a look at pictures that are coming in from Tehran, where there were blasts reported near the Mehrabad airport. So there are targets that have been chosen by Israel every day. And here, take a look at what has happened after the impact, after the bombing that took place. This is a strategic area once again, right next to the airport. Airports too, in the last few days, have been in the have been on target as the conflict escalates. In the latest, you're taking a look at what has happened. Thick plumes of black smoke. The impact of the strike also has been caught on camera. My colleague Rishabh is with us as we decode these pictures and get you the latest information. Massive blast near Mehrabad airport in Tehran. Explosions have been reported in the west of Tehran. So yes, there are back-channel talks that are underway, but not for a single day. Even after, that 5-day pause, not for a single day did the bombing stop. This is the 38th day of the war. In Haifa, a residential area has been struck. In Tehran, a critical area like an area next to the Mehrabad airport has been bombed, and we are seeing these pictures coming in. So there's no let-up from either side.
Well, see, there are three things here that we need to categorically understand when it comes to the locations that are being bombed. Mehrabad airport has been bombed by Israel. Reason, it is a strategic point, and from where Israel believe that the help is coming in, maybe from Russia or Beijing or other supporters of Iran, could be North Korea or others. Why is Haifa being attacked? While Iran is going all asymmetric in this warfare and the way they have gone, all guns open on the US bases, US properties in West Asia, they're also hitting Israel strategically. They're hitting Tel Aviv, given that it is capital. They're hitting Jerusalem, given that it is a city of importance. But Haifa, again, Haifa is the biggest port in West Asia. And Israel, in a way, is trying to suggest that if Strait of Hormuz is not safe or it is choked, why not use Haifa? And Israel becomes the trading or the logistic partner for different reasons. And like UAE has gone closer to Israel in last 4 to 5 years, other West Asian countries could also, for the sake of business, can go toward Israel. And by hitting Haifa, Iran is making one thing very clear, that it's not just Strait of Hormuz that we can choke. We can hit Haifa as well. So if you believe that by trading using Haifa port can be one option for you, that is under our reach. So the message is being sent loud and clear to Israel and West Asian partners as well. A.
All right.
B, when it comes to bombing, you are correct that there hasn't been a single day when the strategic locations have not been bombed in Israel or for that matter in Iran. While US suggested that we are not going to bomb infra or energy or water setups for 5 days, Israel every day hit points in Iran, be it Mashhad, be it Efsahan, be it Bushehr, be it Tehran. All these areas have been targeted by Israel day in and day out.
Right.
Because see, one thing is very clear. While US is trying to look for a way out from here, open the Strait of Hormuz, and say that we have achieved whatever we have to achieve from this war and get out of this war. Okay. Israel understands that if Iran is not decimated, and especially after 38 days of firepower that Iran has shown in this war, Israel do believe that if Iran is not decimated to the core, it might be a bigger challenge for Israel to cope up with.
And that is why, Rishabh, constantly Iran keeps saying one thing, that Donald Trump is following his Middle East policy as per the commands of Benjamin Netanyahu. But let's once again put our focus on the threat issued by Donald Trump. So he's openly been talking about blowing up power plants, blowing up bridges in Iran. If Donald Trump actually acts on his threat, what could be the consequences? This is war rhetoric, and this breaks international conventions too. But let's talk about what this threat, if it becomes a reality, what is on target. We are going to explain that to you graphically. Now, these are Iran's power grid, which is on radar, which are the possible targets. We're talking about the Damavan power plant, which is the largest thermal power plant in Iran. Then you have the Karun 3 hydro complex, which is the largest hydropower plant, and also the Shahid Abbaspur Dam. So here we are talking about the power plants and power grids. Then you also have the Bushehr nuclear power plant, which is Iran's only nuclear power plant. So these are the targets. Then we are talking about bridges. So there are bridges also on radar. Now, what are these bridges? One, the Karaj B1 bridge, Iran's tallest bridge, which was already struck. We saw those pictures that came in. And then the strategic route and the links are from Tehran to Isfahan to Shiraz to Bushehr. This is the critical artery network and why it matters. So these are bridges on radar, and these are also port link bridges that we're talking about. Port link bridges are the fuel tanker. This is a convo route of port-linked bridges. So here we're talking about the possible targets. Donald Trump says Tuesday is going to be power plant day. Tuesday is going to be bridge day, and this strike will be like no other. And then came the abuses. If they are struck, the impact will be on exports. The impact will be on supply chains, and it will be absolute catastrophe. It will be the biggest escalation in this war. So the next few hours are going to be extremely critical. Iran, on its part, is also hitting back. It's dismissing Donald Trump's threats. It's calling him reckless. It is calling him delusional. And it is also blaming him for pulling Americans into this war, where they are also saying, so both of them are trading charges over how, they're going to rain hellfire, and both of them are saying that you are pulling your own citizens into hell. So yes, we've told you about the bridges that are on radar and the possible targets. So this is how we've explained to you. Another aspect of this war is when Donald Trump escalates the war rhetoric. This is a crime under Geneva Convention. What does the Geneva Convention say? That willful killing or protected persons. And when does it become a war crime? When there is torture or inhuman treatment of individuals. Under the Geneva Convention, if the President of the United States talks about blowing up power plants, blowing up Iran, he is talking like a person who can be called a war criminal. So causing serious injury, unlawful destruction or seizure of property, forcing prisoners to serve enemy forces, denying fair trial to protected persons. So we're just telling you about what constitutes a war crime under the Geneva Convention, and also taking hostages during an armed conflict and attacking civilians or civilian objects, using prohibited weapons like poison or gas, and recruiting children under 15 for combat. Now these are things that constitute a war crime under the Geneva Convention. And if Donald Trump is now talking about blowing up Iran, is he talking about engaging in war crimes? That's the larger criticism. More breaking news now coming in. Now we're going to show you